Do you want to be on top of what's coming out in the board game community? Today I'm going to teach you how to navigate Kickstarter, how to back a project, and also what to look for in a new game. Kickstarter is what's known as a crowdfunding platform. And for those that don't know what that means, it means basically you're going to be like a shark in Shark Tank, and you get to pick which projects or products you want to invest your money into so they can come alive and you can receive that product. Kickstarter has really changed the way that the board game community can operate. Instead of having a game that has to go through a publisher and a bunch of people, we can take it straight to the crowd and the masses and see if they like it and if it become funded. Now, to start on Kickstarter, we're going to jump right into the application to show you what's going on. So in the app, this is how you navigate it. At the top, there's a tab page that lets you see a bunch of different parts of the app, and I will show you how to use that later. But back to the main page, we can see 4 tabs on the top. We have Magic, Popular, Newest, and Ending Soon. Those all are pretty self-explanatory except for Magic. So I'm going to start with the last 3, Popular. Popular is going to show you what is doing the best on the app, and in terms of basically funding and also how much money they're receiving. Newest obviously is going to be the games or the stuff that is just coming to the application. And Ending Soon is any project that is ending soon. Like on this one, you can see here that it ends in 2 minutes, this one ends in 23 minutes, and that one ends in 25. Now, how do we go back and see just board games? Because we're looking at a bunch of different things here. So if we go to all projects, scroll down to games, and hit tabletop games, this is what's going to show you only board game content. And this is super important for us because that's what we're looking for. So if we head on over to it, we'll start in the Magic tab. The Magic tab is going to show you something that the app thinks that you want to see. And it can be good because as you look at new projects and new games, it's going to canny those searches to you. So we can go down here and we can see in the Magic tab that I'm being, shown Fractured Sky, a tabletop news, a bunch of different products. But if we go down here, we can see that there's these 2, and we're going to focus on these 2. One's called Flutter, and one's called the Royal Limited. These are 2 games that are trying to be funded. And if we look at Flutter, down here, we can see that it's 267% funded. And that means it will come to pass. We will see this game in the flesh. And basically, if you can back it and send your money to them, they're going to send you that game on a later date. So let's take a look and see what we can kind of see to know what we're looking for. So we can see here, we got Flutter. From the picture, we can see that it's probably going to be a tile laying game to do with butterflies. And it says that it's 2 to 5 players. That's awesome. The next game, we have the Royal Limited. Oh, a Scott Ames solo game. Okay, so it's a solo game. Well, I'm not looking for solo games right now, so I want to look at the 2 to 5 player game. So we're going to click on it. At the top of when you click on a product, you can see that there's campaign, FAQ, risk, and environmental commitments. And each of those have their own respective stuff. But we're going to focus on overview and campaign today. In the overview, you're going to see there's a clickable video, and you can watch a quick video on the game. Then you can also see where we're at with the money-wise, the backers, and how many days left. Also, there's comments and updates, and you can check on those to see what's going on with the product. But I think the most important tab in this entire thing is called the campaign tab. Once you click on that, it is going to show you a quick breakdown of the entire game and what it has to offer. And we can go down here that you can see this animation of the game, and you can see how the gameplay is going to be. And that's awesome. We love to see that because some games don't have this and it's hard to know what they're about. We can go down and see that the Dice Tower likes the game. We can see what it looks like. We can see how possibly the box is also going to look, so we know what we're getting our hands onto. And then usually they're going to offer Kickstarter exclusive items, and you can go through and check this out. The other cool part is near the bottom. If we keep going, it is going to run into a bunch of videos, and a lot of people are going to link stuff that already talks about the game. So you can find reviews, playthroughs, and other things about games, and it's super awesome and it's super convenient. Now, so let's say for an example, after all this information we read, watched, listened to, we decide this is it. This is the game for me. Now what? Well, see that little green banner at the bottom of the screen? Click it. Back this project. you have a couple different options. The first option is something that's going to be on every single Kickstarter, and it's a $1 pledge. And that means you think this game is great, but you don't know if you want to buy it yet. But if you give them the $1 pledge, then they're going to let you have another chance, even after the Kickstarter is end, to back it and get the game no matter what. So it's a super great option if you're not really all in yet. Then the next thing, as you can see here, is a couple different options. You have the Flutter option, which is going to give you just the base game, or you have a wood option for $54. So it's really up to you if you want, the base game or upgraded pack. And that's one of the cool things about Kickstarter is there's always an upgraded pack usually with the game, and you can get some pretty cool stuff. Like me and my wife, Monique, we got Dead Reckoning. But the best part about Dead Reckoning is I got all the upgrades. So I've got metal coins, I've got all the wood pieces, I've got extra parts and bits. It's awesome, and it makes the gameplay super fun. And you can only usually find those with Kickstarter games or like collector's editions that could come out later, but they're probably gonna be more pricey. And then there's stuff for retailers to buy, in bulk. And we're not gonna worry about that because we ain't no real retailer. But basically, that's a quick overview of Kickstarter, of how to use it and what to do. The other thing I wanted to remind you about Kickstarter is that when you back something and you put in your credit card information and stuff to have them take out money or whatever, it doesn't go through until the Kickstarter is over. So if you're like me and you like to plan out your money and make sure you have a certain amount of money at a certain time when you're going to buy something, you have to realize they're not going to take this money until 18 days from now. And I've got to be ready for that, so it's not a surprise. I just backed a game and I forgot the Kickstarter end, and it came out of my checking account and I wasn't ready. So we had to do a couple little shifting with our money real quick, but it wasn't too bad. The last thing I also want to say is when looking in a game, if there's a rule book available to read it. That is the true source of information for every game to find out what's going to be in it. I remember I backed a game, and I won't say which one it was, but I didn't read the rule book, and I found out that it was almost the exact same as a different game, but just kind of reskinned a little bit. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have backed it if I would have known that. And there was a rule book that I could have read, but I didn't do it. So I really highly suggest that if you're going to back something, read the rule book to find out really what it's about, because sometimes they don't tell you just off of the front screen or off of the front, little animation video. So it's something you should really look into. Kickstarter and GameFound, other crowdfunding platforms, are incredible, and they are what are changing the board game community. And if you want to stay on top of your board games, you've got to be looking out for those. One of the games that is huge that's shown up recently is Root. Root was a crowdfunding game, but now it's everywhere, and it's incredible. And if you want to see more about Root, you can click the video right here to the left, and we'll be able to show you all about it. And we went through every single faction, how incredible it is. Anyway, we hope you guys have a great day. I hope you found this really educational. See ya.